about digital strategy and the citizen overview. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Alan. Okay, so I've got a wee presentation, and I'll try and keep it quite short. I'm just going to try and tell you what I think you need to know. So there's time at the end for yourselves to ask any questions or anything you think that I might have missed. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen for the very first time in a meeting. So this is a new learning experience for me. So here we go. Okay. Now hopefully you can all see that. Oh.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me okay? Sorry, I seen Alan doing a punch to the air. I thought I was muted for a moment. Everyone can hear me, right? Great. Okay, so as Alan says, I'm Diane Webb. I'm the policy lead for digital strategy at Renfrewshire Council, and I'm on Twitter. You can tweet me as well if you want to contact me that way, or you can direct message me there, or you can send me an email. So the details are there. Okay. So the last Digiren meeting we had Patrick Murray come along. He's the head of ICT in the council, and he was talking about the new digital strategy for the council. And I just thought I would take some time today just to go through it and take you through the bits I think that are most important to us. So there's 8 themes of the strategy. The first one's digital council, digital foundations, digital leadership and skills, smart data, digital citizen, which is the one we're going to focus on today, digital health and social care, and digital learning and teaching. So 8 themes. They tried to come up with headings that would try and cover everything across the council. And we're really pleased to have digital citizen in there and to link up with all the work that Digiren has been doing over the past 5 or 6 years. So this is an opportunity for us to take that work forward. So I'll just go into a wee bit more detail about that. Okay, so digital citizen. So the aim of digital citizen, that theme or that work stream, is to try and empower our citizens and to increase digital skills, confidence and participation, and promote digital public services and digital partnership. So there's 5 priorities within the work stream itself where we hope to try and achieve this vision. And the first thing we want to do is try and work out what the baseline is and where we're at. Then we want to collaborate with you and with other partners to try and design solutions. And then it's the delivery phase of how we try and close that digital divide. Then evaluation and learning. And then finally, the 5th priority is around digital citizenship. So I'll talk about that a bit later. So the baseline, what we hope to look at there is to try and build and improve on existing information to better understand levels of digital exclusion in Renfrewshire and the areas and demographics to target with support. So really that's just about us trying to work out where are we at, what's going on just now, and what is succeeding and what can we build on. And then the collaboration. So we want to work in partnership with the Digiren network, yourselves, citizens, and STVO. We're going to be working on a pilot with them, which I'll talk about later as well, and any other stakeholders that we may not be represented or here today, to try and develop co-produced priorities and, where possible, co-delivered solutions. So ultimately it's just about us working in partnership and making sure we're listening to you, the experts. And then delivery, and we want to prioritise and target service delivery where we know digital exclusion exists. So for example, with older adults, social housing, BAME population, people in poverty, care experienced and disabled, etc, etc. Now it won't be same day delivery as this picture shows, but the point is that we want to make sure that after all the talking and all the developing of the ideas, we want to take action. And then finally, we just want to evaluate what we've done and see if there's any lessons that we can learn, and we'll feed into that pilot that I mentioned with SCVO. And then the final priority is to identify current council consultation and engagement methods, and how do they understand what citizens need, and if there's a role for digital citizenship and community empowerment models using technology to try and understand people's needs. So that's something for the future, but not right now. And then finally, in order to try and work with communities and groups and citizens, I want to set up a separate consultation or working group called Digital Citizen Voice. And today, I suppose, I just wanted to explain about the Digital Citizen workstream and then ask if anyone would be interested in being part of this working group. And your role will be to try and shape what we do in the future. Okay, am I back? Am I back in the room?
You are, yes.
Well, that is so strange. Did you see the presentation there, everybody? I felt like I was in another room on my own.
Done a wonderful job. Fine.
Right, great. Sorry, I felt like I was talking. I couldn't see anybody's reactions. That was my first time. So just sharing that with you. That was interesting. Actually,
Yeah,
you were all
sorry,
to yourself.
I had that quite similar last time, Diane. Actually, with when I did that first presentation at Digiren, I think it was just the last session, and it feels very quiet, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was a very quick whistle-stop tour, but I suppose just to hear anyone get any feedback, put it in the chats or put your questions to Alan or myself.
Just Maureen's saying there, we'll need to share the presentation, Diane, is that okay?
Of course, yeah, no problem.
Okay. Do you want to maybe just tell us a wee bit more, or I'll give you a wee bit more sense of the digital citizenship work that you're doing or you're planning to do with SCVO and the sort of ask of the members?
Yeah, so SCVO, we're looking for a couple of pilot partners to try and, what they want to do is try and develop a model for taking collective responsibility around digital inclusion. So ultimately trying to close the digital divide and make sure the people that are offline have the opportunity to get online and are supported to do that. So there's lots of organisations out there trying to do that, either individually or in small partnerships. And what they want to do is to try and look at a collective responsibility model, and they'll be working with Infrastructure Council to see if we can develop a model. But ultimately, we need your help, because the council can't solve digital inclusion itself, and neither can the third sector, neither can private sector. It's about all three sectors working together. And ultimately, I see yourselves as the experts, because you're out there doing that work. So it's about the digital citizen voice part is about getting the opportunity to hear your feedback and hear what you think will work, and see if we can try and use that in our future planning. And
the plan would be to have this as a sort of short life working group that you would ask members of Digiren to sort of put their hands up. And in my mind, I was thinking when you were talking, there's obviously people around this virtual table just now who, as you say, are tackling that agenda. So it'd be important for them to sort of make you aware of that work that's ongoing. I'm seeing Cassie nodding away. For example, ROAR have always had strong links in relation to digital, and that might be something that's increased over the last year, for example. So I think maybe people may be putting their hands up if they were interested. Diane, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, what we'll do is the plan will be to have some group consultation, but also to have one-to-one, and there might be surveys. So I suppose it's just that there'll be a commitment there for you to take part in that as much as you can. And it's about us not going off and developing new ideas and solutions where RAM-H might be doing something, for example, or Cassie at ROAR might be doing something that's amazing that we just don't know about, and it's something that can be replicated across other organisations and transferred over. So it's so that we value what you're doing and build on that instead of going off and working on our own. Okay,
can I make a suggestion? There's actually a question that will come from Diane, but Diane Dunn. But if you're interested in participating with Diane Webb on this piece of work, could you put in the chat that you've got a general interest, and we'll maybe we'll collect that as a starter for 10, Diane, is that okay?
That'd be great, and I'll follow that up with an email out explaining, and also when we'll get a list, and then we'll get a get together.
And if people don't put their name in it, I'm going to start tapping folks' shooters and saying, you're doing something, how come you're not involved? So you may as well just sign up now. I'll come and tell you, come on, get involved. Right, so Diane Dunn was asking, Diane, that there's a big question about how are you planning to baseline? So this aspect, you were saying that you're going to baseline the problem and then try and see how we can increase it. So how is that going to work?
Yeah, that is a big question, and it's an area we looked at, and I suppose trying to look at how we're measuring digital exclusion just now, Diane, and what our understanding is of it. And it might be that we're not measuring it enough, but also using things like the council, I think they do the users survey, public service users survey, and there's some questions around digital inclusion asked around that. So there's data that already exists that's been gathered. But the other thing we realised quickly in speaking to SCVO and Claire, I think you were there, Claire, was that Renfrewshire is a huge area to try and tackle. So the plan is to try and maybe choose one area in Renfrewshire and tackle that first and learn from that and then expand out. So we don't know what that area would be, but it would need to be an area that has lots of partners that want to be involved in it going forward, because we're looking for those partners to try and develop the solutions with us and potentially deliver the solutions as well.
That sounds pretty good. I was going to ask David something, but it's just a whole host of names getting put in the chat. You'll be pleased to see, Diane. Obviously, Who Cares Scotland and Star and Roar and Ram H and everything else. Everybody's just sort of saying yes before they get dug up about it. So that's quite good. David, I was going to ask you, David Cannon, if there was a point there in terms of the baseline. Obviously, the rollout of the City Fibre, there's probably an understanding of cold spots already in terms of access. Yes?
Yes, at the moment it's obviously driven by the engineering at the moment, and once it's all complete, at the moment we are capturing people registering interest in getting broadband, so that gives us an idea where the interest is. But we might be able to. I'm not that au fait with some of our systems, but I'm happy to have a look and see if there's anything that could be usefully used to do. I mean, there are various maps and things of broadband users, but you probably all know that anyway. The Ofcom stuff that shows you how people use it in different things, and that might be more relevant than some of our technical stuff. But I'm more than happy to see whether there's something.
Thanks, David. Thank you. Martin at Cab saying that absolutely, again, there's many folks will let her know digital access for a range of reasons. And Cassie's actually was just talking about the fact that Roar have employed a business and marketing managers who's got a lead on digital. So there's real opportunities there, Diane, I think. So I think that's not a bad start, is it?
That's brilliant. No, absolutely brilliant. And I think we've just been waiting for this opportunity because Digiren have been going for a while, and this is going to give us something to focus on and try and build towards and actually try and take action to close the divide together. So really exciting.
You were talking about sort of geographic areas. I wondered if there was an opportunity to baseline maybe a protected characteristic area, for example, disability. You know, because I know that Mary's on the call, and I know that DRC has really ramped up their digital connectivity during the last year for obvious reasons, and that's not something that's going to go away. I don't think, Mary. I think there'll be more and more digital workshops, etc. So maybe there's a wee consideration there about the thematics. As I mean, you mentioned BME, for example, but there's maybe you can maybe drill down further to see if that could be a distance travelled from a baseline. Yeah, Mary, and
it's great to have you on here today. I know you're not long back in, so thanks.
I know, I'm trying to catch up with everything. I know Joe, who's on the call as well. Joe's been leading all our digital stuff and doing a brilliant job. So yeah, I've met with him once, and we'll meet again. But yeah, just trying to catch up with everything that he's doing. But it's been great, really good. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about the Digital Citizen Voice, is just to say that it's a chance for you to shape what we're going to do and to try and work out what the priorities are and where we should focus our efforts. None of that is decided.
Bernadette making the point that Joe's been knocking it out of the park with online content. I like that. Okay, so that's a really good start. A wee brief overview of the new strategy and I think a really exciting opportunity there about sort of looking at a particular area, and whether it's geographic or a protected characteristic or whatever, or a mixture of both. There's maybe an opportunity there just to show how we can, as a group, really impact on that. So it's a good start. And Diane will follow up with people who have put their hand up. All right, is that okay, Diane?
Great, thanks. Just one question from Ross. He was asking, Claire, you might want to answer this and just maybe say hello as well. Do you know when more information will be out on the SCVO pilot? So I suppose it's when it's launched, I suppose, publicly. Claire, maybe?
Do you mean, I'm assuming you mean the pilot as in what we are doing with you guys?
Yeah.
Well, how long's a piece of string, really? I think once we've got it, I think probably once we've identified a pilot site and we know what level of interest people have shown, so obviously it's good seeing the amount of people that are interested on this call. So once we've started getting groups together, working out the questions we need to ask and where we need to ask them, so as you say, Alan, different groups and things, I suspect we'll have a wee bit more information. So even hopefully the next Digiren group will have a better idea of that type of thing. What I was also going to say, if you don't mind me very quickly hijacking for 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
I'll be quick. Some of you might be familiar with the Essential Digital Skills Toolkit that SCVO have. So it's just to make you aware that I've mentioned, I think in a previous meeting, that we were going to update it and make it, kind of bring it into the more current landscape, because previously it was way, the first one came out, I think it was in 2018, so we're obviously moved on a bit now and we've had COVID and all the rest of it. So it's just to let you know that it's live now. I'll stick the link to it in the chat. And it was just when I saw your question, Diane, about baseline. So a lot of people have used this to baseline people's digital skills, whether it's been their workforce or whether it's been volunteers or service users or whatever the case may be. So it was just to let you know, if anyone, especially maybe if you're part of Connecting Scotland and you're curious to see what kind of level of digital skills the recipients have got, or whatever the case may be, we've got that new tool, and it's there, publicly available, and you're more than welcome to take it, use it, adapt it, do whatever you like with it. But if you are using it, and if it's something to do with maybe this bit of work that we are doing with Diane, then let us know, so that any and all information is much appreciated.
Thanks, Claire. And thanks for that. If you're going to post that link, that'd be great. I'm pretty sure people will be keen to see that updated toolkit, which is always really user-friendly anyway. And as you say, even the last couple of years has probably taught us some other things we need to be aware of as part of a general code to practice. That's a great start, folks, and really genuinely thanks for everybody putting their names in the box. I think that's really helpful. We're going to move on then to the next item, if that's okay, and it's the Renfrewshire Safe Online, RenSafe Online. It's a wee bit of an introduction to online safety, and it's going to be Carol and Diane that's going to take us through this, and they've got around 10 minutes, folks, okay?
I was told 5 minutes, so...
5 minutes for
Carol,
5 minutes for chat.
You get 5 minutes, Diane's got 5 minutes. Don't try and squeeze it. Suit me, all right?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so my name is Carol Peters. I'm the cybersecurity architect for the council, and my job is to protect the council network and public online services from cyber attacks. It's not the only thing that I do, though. A couple of years ago, I did convince the council that they should invest in a programme to take online safety out to residents and businesses across the council region. And that allowed me to partner up with Get Safe Online, which is a government and police supported source of online safety information across the UK. Some of you might know about this because, you know, we did do this a couple of years ago, but things have been quite quiet over the last year, and I know that there's new members on just now, so just bear with me while I kind of explain a bit more about it. So with IT support, I managed to create RenSafe Online. So it is a council-sponsored initiative funded by the council, and it's intended to demystify online safety and cybercrime. And you know, we're taking that message out into the community, so to local groups, individuals, businesses. We set up stalls in various locations over the last couple of years, in various locations, talking to people and handing out leaflets. We were invited along to various events such as council-run training days, conferences. We were working with the University of West of Scotland at their Freshers Week. I'll put my teeth in. The university were quite impressed with the service, so since then we've partnered up with them for other events, and they also retweet our monthly social media messages that are tweeted on the council account. And now, while I'm talking, by the way, Diane's going to upload the Rent Safe online website, but just be aware that we're not actually discussing that content or anything specifically. She just thought it'd be good to put that up so that you could see it. So Rent Safe Online is a service that's available to everyone in the Renfrewshire area, and that includes community groups, schools, local businesses, and even our own staff. As a council, we have official business focused training for cybersecurity for staff, but staff are people too, and the Rent Safe Online message is quite basically, it's a bit more basic and easier for people to understand. So, and sometimes it's a lot less scary as well, I think. Now, we haven't, like I said, we haven't done much in the last 18 months, just basically because the way that we were set up previously was about being in front of people, and of course we haven't been able to do that. So we have been doing some work to change that and do some digital stuff. I'll come back to that in a second. And I know that some of you that are attending today's meeting won't be aware of the services that we've got on offer, partly because we've been so quiet. And it is the return of Diane that has helped us to kick that off again and to refocus on Rent Safe Online. We're working on aligning it with council strategies around the digital literacy that she just mentioned. And we want to encourage you to use Rent Safe Online as a source of any training that you're planning, whether it be council-based or whether it be one of the community groups or a school or a local business that you're working with. We have an awful lot of tools that we can give you. We've got leaflets, training materials, presentations, videos. We've got our website that I mentioned there that's got a lot of really good information, and it's all sort of age appropriate, targeted at kids as well as adults across the range. We've got a stand that we can bring along to events, and we've done that a few times for various events that have been held. And we can man those stands, and we'll talk to people. We'll hand out leaflets, and sometimes we have some freebies that we can give away as well. So we do try to make our sessions fun, so we've got games and things there. We try to make it a relaxed event so that we are quite, people feel they can approach us, which is quite important. We can also do focused events, or we can give you the tools if you want to use them yourself and you take them and run with them. I think the main point is that this is all free for you and your audiences. You don't have to pay anything for it. You don't have to print off your own leaflets or develop your own training materials. We've got them all for you, and there's absolutely no cost at all to you. They are available for you to use, as is our services in helping you to do the presentations and such like as well. And perhaps it's more important to know as well that you're also then that what you're giving out is reliable, good advice that's pitched at the level that's designed for the audience that you're actually going to be meeting. So we're also now looking at developing more digital formatted materials that I mentioned, and that can be available to anyone, anytime. And we have some ideas on other ways to increase our reach into the community. But we are here to support you, and we see you as partners in this initiative. So before we get ahead of ourselves, we've designed a survey that we want to send out that will help us to understand where your problems lie in terms of online safety and digital security generally, and what things that might help, what things that we can do that might help you, and what you think you want or need. So Diane's going to send a link to the survey out to, I think it's members of the Digiren that she's going to send it to. She can explain that a bit more in a minute. But we really would encourage you to complete it. It's not a big survey, it won't take very long. And if you are holding training or awareness events around online safety, cybersecurity at any level, then ask us along or ask what we can give you. Like I say, it really is free. And that's kind of a quick sort of summary of what Rent Safe Online is doing.
Carol, that's great. Diane, I'll come to you in a wee second. I always think it's a mistake. I'll just say this now, Carol. It's a mistake to offer anything to any of us, by the way, because we'll you'll have a queue at your door. So I know we don't have sessions, open house yet. And obviously it would be kind of online, we'd be asking you to do stuff. But I think we've already, within the third sector training that we do, we've already used RenSafe Online as an opportunity. But I'm sure there'll be others who'll be keen to take you up on that offer. So
there are a few people that we have managed to stay in contact with, and there's been one or two who have been put in contact with us since COVID began as well. So, but we know that we can do a lot more. But we know that we can expand our reach.
I'll come to yourself, Diane. I was just wondering, though, Carol, before I do that, I was wondering if there's been a greater growing concern in the last year in relation to the onset. Have you had a sense of that people are a bit more concerned about online safety now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that isolation, working from home, and the isolation that people feel with that, they are a lot more concerned about whether or not something's happening, and they feel that they can't talk to people as much about it. In the office, they would just have turned round and said hi, and that's not happening any longer. So yes, I do get that from people quite a lot. I get a strong sense of that from people at work, as well as just friends and neighbours, to be quite honest.
Sure. Okay, that's grand. Diane, do you want to maybe tell us in about the questionnaire that you're hoping to get sent out? Yeah.
Yeah. So the questionnaire, it's just it should only take 10 minutes. Try to keep it quite short. And it is, as Carol said, we didn't want to kind of jump in with ideas. We try to understand what you're doing just now and how we can try and, I suppose, complement what you're doing. But one of the things that GetSafe Online are offering through the council partnership, which is, as Carol says, council paid for, is that we've got an agreement set up that we can offer GetSafe Online ambassador training for people. So you could have GetSafe Online ambassadors within your services, and they'll do a train the trainer type course. Now it's a course that will give you a certification, a qualification out of it, and it's free. And it's through the GetSafe Online partnership. So to me, it's a gift there, but we'll send a survey out first just to try and understand the need in case there's other solutions that you might need as well.
Right, that's great. Thank you very much. Carol, thanks very much. A wee round of applause for your input there. I really appreciate it. Diane, are you anything else to add to any of this before we move on to the next session?
Final thing is just to say, I wondered if RenSafe Online, I don't know if you can raise your hat, sorry, Digiren, so many names, Digiren, would you be interested, do you think, in a future Digiren as having a dedicated session on cybersecurity where we could get the GetSafe Online team along, and they do training all across the world, and they could come along and talk about what they do and maybe do a bit more of an overview of what's available.
That sounds good to me. In the spirit of the meeting, can people just put their hands up virtually or whatever? I just put a wee yellow yes if you're quite interested in that, and we'll capture that, and we'll try and do a wee session on online safety for everybody. Is that okay? Yes.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Right. All right. That looks like unified agreement there. There's quite a lot of hands going up, so we'll be doing that. Before we move on to our kind of final sessions, you'll need to take your hands down again, of course, or I'll get totally confused. I've just realised that Diane, at the end of that session there, Diane Dunn puts a comment. There are so many scams going on at the moment in relation to people that are at home. So quite clearly, people see it as criminal activity has been aimed at people at home and online, etc. And I've put a thumb up, and I don't mean that's great that there's so many scams. I just meant I'm glad she brought it to our attention, because it is something through our network we're continually trying to remind people of that there is opportunities here for criminal activity online. So you really need to be aware of that. So I think this is over needed in some respect. This bit of focus around cyber resilience. So I'm really pleased about that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the final session. Now, again, this is the one where it could all go Pete Tong, according to Diane, as we can end up pressing the wrong button and disappearing into the ether, right? So don't panic, just rejoin. Am I handing over to Diane, or is it Ross, or is it Angela as well? So I'll just hand over to all three. Right, good luck, folks. I'll see you.
Thank you.
I'll see you in the dark side.
Yeah, it's myself that was going to start off leading this, although I think Angela and Diane are going to help me out when we get to some of the breakout rooms. So for this session, we just wanted to have a look at some of the different features that you can use in Microsoft Teams. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this, I suppose, is just because you don't always get the chance to see the different things you can use for Teams. But also we've got a long-held tradition in Digiren of having interactive sessions for people, where you can actually get the chance to try technology and not just hear about it. So the two different parts that we wanted to look at today was the whiteboard space in Teams and also the breakout rooms, which were just a new addition. I think it was December they came in. So while you're watching us go through these steps, it's just, I suppose, handy to think of how you could apply them to your own organisation or other kind of activities that you might want to run. And I would say as well, we did a wee sort of explorers session, and myself, Diane and Angela found it quite, I suppose the layout of the controls can be quite off-putting at first for using it. So I definitely recommend if anyone wants to do things like this to give it a try first. But what I'll do is I'll start by sharing the content first. I've gone to the content sharing button, and I'm just starting up the Microsoft Whiteboard now. So in a second, you should see this take over your screen. Okay, I'm hoping that's appeared for some people.
Yeah, it's there, Ross.
Excellent. Yeah, it means it's still catching up here, I think. Okay, can anyone see the controls up here? All right, sorry, I've set this up to collaborate. So anyone can edit on this. So what you'll see on the screen, you should see the whiteboard and you should see controls up at the top left. On this, you should see a couple of different colours of pens, a highlighter, I think it's got an eraser.
Ross,
yeah.
For me, it's only saying, I don't know if this is the same for other members, for now only members of this organisation can participate. Soon you'll be able to do too. So I don't know whether that's the same for everybody else, but that's what it's like for me, is if it's only if you're part of the teams within Renfrewshire Council. Is that what it's like for others? Is that what it's like for others?
Yeah, same as Alan.
This issue this morning. We were doing a session, and it's partly because people are seen as external to your organisation, so it's seen in the participants' names. Some of us are external. We would have access, and that needs to change. We haven't quite figured it out either yet.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just the council's ICT permissions, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, I'm just looking through the different settings here, and it's obviously not giving me any options to allow people externally to use this. So, although we do have a few people drawn on the screen, so some people may just have to view what's happening on the screen now. So, we had originally planned for a giant noughts and crosses session here, to let people try some of the controls. But, yeah,
Alan, can I just ask? Alan, can you see someone writing "Hello, it's me"? You are. Can you see that at all, or can you just not see anything?
I can see a lovely little doodle of a bird saying "whiteboarding in progress."
All right.
Which, whiteboarding sounds a bit Guantanamo Bay to me, right enough, but that's another thing.
You can't watch, is what I mean. You can't watch.
No, I can't.
Someone's written help. So I suppose for the people that can't see, just to let you know, someone is writing on the whiteboard just now, help.
We'll take a screenshot of this to share with the group at the end, so you will actually see what was on the screen. But yeah, I won't stay on this too long then, because I don't want to have the people attending to not know what we're doing just now. But yeah, well, basically, if you've got the chance, I would certainly try going to the share option and trying a whiteboard. You can do it with yourself. You don't need to be in an active meeting with other people. You can just start a meeting with yourself and try out these controls. So I'm just going to save that as is. And I'll stop presenting that. Somebody's drawn a little unhappy face, definitely. Okay. Okay, there we go. We're back in the main room now.
So that's interesting, but I think that's the thing about this session. We called it Digital Explorers. Like, it's a chance. We've just tried this. Now we've discovered that anyone external can't get in. So it's something. Then either do we try and fix, and then we know for the future when we try and do this that's not available, and we might use you to test it out again. But hopefully the breakout rooms might work. We'll soon discover.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Before you move on, Rob or Diane, can I just ask, Martin still got his hand up, Martin, from CAB. Is that a legacy hand, Martin, or did you have a question?
I think it was a legacy hand. It should hopefully go now.
Thanks, Martin. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Excellent.
But I suppose the other thing as well is that the fact that it's okay to make mistakes and kind of learn together, because this is all new to us all. And even though I'm in a digital role and other people are, we don't discover these things until we try it out. So play.
I think what I will say, to be fair to IT, because we've got to give them some kudos, these are new features. So the people in IT don't sit and look at what's all the new features coming and do we need to do something to activate it. So it would need further investigation. So and that's the only reason that happens to be the case.
Yeah. Do you know, you're right, Carol, absolutely, and it's actually something that we're looking at, Gillian. We are looking at to try and understand all the features of Teams and 365 to make sure we're all able to use it the way we want to. So absolutely right.
Yeah, and it's interesting actually, just as we're talking about this as well, in our original Explorers session to find out what we could do, I could attach pictures to the chat, but this feature has been taken away from me in this meeting, and I'm assuming again it's because there's external people.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So when you make a meeting in Teams with anyone externally, it just disables chat, it disables file sharing. It looks like chat has been brought back, but as literally as last week that wasn't there. So I think it's just a case of it'll take time for like security teams and such to settle on what's the best combination of features, because they have to still take into account accidental file sharing of sensitive information.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, look at you go. Maybe it's just Euros.
I know, I'm beginning to wonder myself. I know, set up the meeting, can't share a picture in my own meeting. The choice. Let's see if I can do it from the photos. This will be a bit of a search as well. So I wonder if this is going to affect our breakout rooms.
Could I quickly say I'm going to take a screenshot of together mode. If you don't want to be in the screenshot, just please turn your camera off and I'll share it in the chat, just so you can see what that looks like. It's very interesting. Seems like you're okay. So.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
We're actually killing ourselves laughing over here, Ross. Rory, Aaron and I were delivering a session on a tech-enabled care programme that we're running just now this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had the exact same problems all morning. We had a bunch of people from various health and social care partnerships, NHS, councils, voluntary sector people, and we were trying to do whiteboards for collaboration. That wouldn't work for the exact same reason you've just found. We did the breakout rooms, that did work kind of, so yours hopefully should work. And I'm trying to think what else. Basically everything that's just gone wrong for you went wrong for us. It was 3 hours of just like one mistake after another. So
there you go. Did you say 3 hours?
It was like a training session thing, so yeah, we were online for hours upon end, but that's just,
I'll find that quite hard to beat today.
Honestly, it's everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. But that's useful. Bernadette saying it's the maybe ICT, so I think we'll speak to the IT department and see if we can get anywhere with it. But yeah, just in case you're feeling bad, I can assure you it's nowhere near as bad as we were this morning.
Oh no, I always said it was 50-50 chance that this would go smoothly, so there you go. Do you know what I found? I can't even share the picture of the memory pictures that we're going to do. I actually don't even have the ability to do that. So we can talk about that in the breakout rooms.
I can share it. I'll share it.
Yeah, go for it.
That's okay.
Yeah, Ross, I had an issue as well when I'm using the, because I've got the app downloaded, I'm using it through that rather than through browser. And for some reason I have to open the chat through my normal Teams thing rather than just hitting the chat button in the meeting.
Okay.
I don't know why.
It's like you say, it's a strange layout and it's a strange functionality at times, but yeah, it's definitely a combination of permissions and new features being added, I think, that have caused this.
Can you see that?
That's on, Dan.
Right, okay. So what, I suppose, Ross, on you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. So originally we were going to give everyone about 15 seconds to have a look at this picture. Can everyone see it okay? Yeah, even external people? It's gone all quiet in the room, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good. Okay, so yeah, there was a 15 seconds to have a look, see how many of the pictures you could remember, and then we're going to split into the breakout rooms, which will hopefully work. And in your groups, just try and note down how many you remember. So if the person that's facilitating, it'll be Diane, myself, or Angela that'll be heading up one of the rooms. They'll just keep a note of however many you can remember from this picture, and we'll meet back up in the main room and see how many we got. So I think there was, what did we say, is it 20?
20.
Okay, so, okay, I'm just going to start initializing the breakout rooms in, so you should get a countdown in just a second. And you'll be randomly assigned to one of 3 rooms. And if anything goes wrong with this, feel free to rejoin the meeting. We'll be back in the main room.
And if you accidentally leave, don't press the red button to leave. Do not press the red button.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, yeah, that was the other main point.
Take care. We'll see you. We'll see you soon.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
So who's the winners?
Okay.
Who do we get?
Did we all make it back? I seen a message from, who was it? Bernadette from room 1.
Uh-huh.
Did you just write room 1?
She was going to post an image, but I've also got it downloaded, Ross, so...
Okay.
It should be going.
Okay. We just ticked off what
Yay!
did we go?
Behold.
There was a lot of writing though, Ross. They weren't as artistic as we were.
Oh yeah, did you try doing pictures for this one?
Try
we
is the
just
keyword.
we just ticked them off.
Oh.
How many did that get for room 1 then?
So,
I'm pretty sure we got all of them, Ross, and we're the winners.
I think we got 17.
All right, is that independently counted, yeah?
Independently, it's 20 out of 20.
Okay, what about yourself, Diane?
Well, I mean, of course, we got 20.
Oh, no way. I mean, that's brilliant. Yeah, I think we get 19 out of 20. I'm actually really impressed by everyone that's taken part in this, though, because when we tried this ourselves, we got, I think, about 5, didn't we?
Yeah, we were rubbish.
I'm not even, I mean, I'd say I'm not even going to share the picture we did, but I couldn't anyway if I was trying. Just for the record, I still can't see Bernadette's picture. I don't know if anyone else can see that. No.
We can
It's
see
just
it.
a blank screen.
It's in the chat.
In the chat.
Yeah, I just see behold.
Oh no, I can definitely see it. So
I
That's
guess maybe a
interesting.
restart time, Russ, maybe, for an
Oh.
update waiting or
It
something.
could be. Yeah, because Angela, you had certain things you could do in Teams that I couldn't do as well. So
I don't have any attachment facility now in my chat, so that's gone from it. Diane, are you able to see Bernadette's picture?
Sorry about my cat, he's never been fed in his life. Technically, I think you should be able to open it and share screen, and then everyone would still be able to see it.
Hey.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
That's a brilliant spelling of bird, by the way.
I know. I like the way instead
That's the Scots
of
spelling.
drawing, they've just started writing the words. That's brilliant.
Axbird, that looks like a name of a punk rock band or something. That's good.
That is
pretty good. So, is it quite easy to set up the teams then, Ross, in terms of the breakout rooms?
Yeah, it's really simple. Again, there's a button just up at the top of the screen. Not everyone will have it likely, but when you're setting up these meetings, beside the button that you put your hand up for the meetings, you'll just get a wee breakout rooms button. It's its own wee individual button, and you get the option to sort people manually or just randomly into rooms. But even if you needed facilitators in a certain room, you can then move people individually after it's been sorted. So it's good for sort of bigger meetings like this.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I
I like other. like others, I've used it before. I've been sent into rooms and stuff. I've never set one up, and I suppose it's just taking that first step. So I think that was quite a bit of fun as well. I think it's quite useful just for folk maybe who haven't done that. And obviously Ross is saying Diane and Angela actually were able to set it up quite simply, so it shouldn't put you off. So hopefully that was worthwhile, apart from the whiteboard experiment. But that's the point of trying these things, isn't it? So that you actually figure out what you need to worry about if you're going to be doing that with a group of people. So I really appreciated that. Has anybody any kind of further questions about the breakout rooms or any points you want to make, Diane or Angela or Ross?
Just to encourage you to do what we did and get a group of people together and practice. And if you need some extra people, myself, Ross or Angela, I'm sure would be up for getting together with you to practice.
Okay, all right.
We should practice with people that are external to the organisation too, Diane, next time.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah, and I'd also say, see on the cyber security front as well, they always say stop and think before you click anything. It's true of Teams as well. Always stop and have a think. Is that the button you really want to press? Because you can end up closing windows you didn't mean to quite easily, I think. So.
Okay. We're just coming up to the end of the meeting. People have seen the 5 minutes popping up. Is anybody is this okay for me to move on, Diane, Ross? You all right? Just kind of conscious of the time. Is anybody any burning issues that they kind of want to raise from today, or any things that they sort of want to make sure are part of the kind of recording? Just put your hand up. If I don't see anything, I'll move on. Diane seems to be typing something. Why don't you just tell us what it is you're typing, Diane? No. Oh, MailChimp. Ross has got something about MailChimp.
Yeah, sorry, that's exactly what I was going to say. Just to let everyone know, in the coming weeks, we're going to be moving the mailing list from Digiren onto a system called Gov Delivery, which is something that Renfrew Council has a sort of contract in place with to provide email lists. So it's just to let you know we're going to make that change. We'll be emailing everyone on the Digiren list just to let them know of that change as well, and just to make sure everyone's happy with that. And you can obviously email me and let me know if you have any questions about it. And purely we're making that change just because we do add people a lot, and we want to give people the option to be able to remove themselves from the list if they want to. So it's more to give control to people as well, but also just so that we don't end up missing names that need to be added. It'll also mean that we can use things like Twitter just to get people added to the email list without having to keep doing it manually, which would be kind of untenable eventually. So that's me.
Okay. Thanks, Ross. We'll note that when it gets sent out, then that it's changing over. So that's positive. Thank you very much. So Rory.
I have just a quick one. Just in my new SCVO capacity, I'm also based in Paisley because I live in Paisley. So if anyone, I had lots of people knocking about Paisley there. If anyone wants to physically meet, go for a wee socially distanced walk and talk about SCVO stuff, send me a wee email, and we can chat all things digital. More than welcome.
Thanks, Rory. That's a great offer. And obviously, in days like this, it's always a good thought. Getting a bit. Okay. What I was going to suggest was that there's some links we put in the chat, particularly around sort of the stuff around cyber resilience and the thing from Claire from SCVO, etc. So I was wondering, Diane, if that could be kind of collated and sent out as a kind of round robin email along with the link to the meeting once it's uploaded to YouTube. I'll be interested to see what happens during the breakout rooms, Ross, whether it just leaves a gap or as the meeting's recorded and it just says breakout room coming soon or whatever it happens to say. Anyway, so we'll have a look at that once it's done, but we'll circulate the link and some of the key points from today. And Diane, is there anything you want to maybe say just in terms of conclusions for the next meeting?
No, we'll send that email out, and the next meeting I suppose will be the cyber security, Get Safe Online, and I look forward to getting a list of names of anyone else that wants to take part in Digital Citizen Voice. So if you know of anyone, let them know. But I'll be in touch.
Sounds great. Okay, folks, that's just about 3 o'clock. Diane and Ross, would you maybe want to stay on? We'll get a wee quick chat at the end. But with that, I'll just say thanks to everybody and have a great week and great weekend when it comes. All right, enjoy the sunshine. Thanks, folks.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.